Ladies and gentlemen, welcome this week to another amazing race recap of episode 2. Joining me today, I have none other than Goldberg. Goldberg, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Calbert.
Good. How you doing, everybody?
So episode 2 in the books, went to Colombia. Interesting episode. A lot of different things they did this week. A lot of times in the taxi, that's for sure. But
in particular,
yeah. Calbert, overall, did you enjoy the episode?
I liked the episode. Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked the being in Colombia and trying something different. And as we know, what is rule number 1 in an amazing race? Read your clue. Right? Reading the clue is the most important thing. It's not anything else. It's not about your taxi, not about your money. It's about reading the clue. You don't read the clue, you're going to go home. So,
Yep, that happened quite a bit this week.
Yep.
Goldberg, your general thoughts on the episode?
I actually really enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed it a whole of a lot more than the first episode. And I mean, speaking of reading the clue, I know we're going to get into this, but my gosh, I thought we were cooked there. I thought we were done. I just don't understand either. And I know I should say it later, but I'm going to say it now. I don't understand how you could argue about whether you should read the clue again or not. Like, just read it again. I mean, does it hurt to read it again? I don't understand. No, we don't need to read it again. We already read it. We know what we're doing. No, clearly you don't know what you're doing.
And at least, though, you're not the only team that didn't do it. Quite a few teams did it. So,
but they did. I mean, when they do that voiceover, they knew that a lot of people were going to miss that part, hooking up the horn.
And all right, I will stick up for all the teams. Just for 2 seconds. The horn was in the front of the vehicle. That's not usually towards the bottom too. So it's not normally a spot when you're building something that you would think to go, oh, I should probably look down. Now, having said that, I'm going to crush everybody later, but just in their defense, I could get that. But that's why reading your clue is important, because you would have known that, you wouldn't have had that problem. So,
yeah. Well, beginning of the episode, they were going from Tobago to Colombia, Bogota. And the first task was to drive out to these salt mines. And we had the yield come back. So this is the first time we've seen the yield in a long, long time. But there was a little twist to this. They had to go through these salt mines, and they had to find these hourglass that had the 10-minute logo or the 20-minute logo. The catch was that the more you spent time looking for that 20-minute one, you were going to be delayed from leaving the salt mine. So you kind of had to pick your poison there. I thought the twist was kind of interesting, but I think my personal strategy would be just to get the first one you see, because 10 minutes, is it really that much time? I don't know. Maybe it could, but 10 to 20 minutes isn't that big of a difference. I'm looking for the first one I can find, and then I'm going to sign my name up on that dotted line, because I want all the advantage I can get. So, Goldberg, what was your take on this?
Well, I have a question, because it has been a while since I've watched a season religiously. So the yield, is that just for this episode, or now is there going to be a future yield in a future episode? Was that just for this leg of the race?
So this is obviously the yield has been around obviously before, but it's never been like this, where you get an hourglass and you can, I'm guessing you can use it at any point, or you can use it once you see the yield signs. I don't know. It's
like,
kind
when
of confusing.
the fact that they all kept it in the holster, is that something they're going to be able to use later, basically, is what I'm asking.
I'm guessing so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm guessing so. I'm guessing at the points when you see it on the race is when you're going to be able to use it. And it's going to just be whenever you see that sign, you can take it out and use it on somebody. So,
well, I agree with you 100%. You grab the first one you see. I mean, 10, 20 minutes. Okay. I'd rather a 20-minute one, but am I going to waste valuable time looking for, you're going to lose that 10 minutes that you're trying to get a 20-minute, or it just makes it, to me, I agree with you. I would not waste my time running around looking for a 20-minute. And I guess I'll wait to my point about the yield. I'll wait until we get there. Cause I think one team, proved to be pretty dumb blonde, and I guess that's giving something away, but
Calbert, what were your thoughts on this part of the leg?
Well, I thought the same thing. I also thought that grabbing the 10-minute one as opposed to the 20-minute one, okay, it's a difference of 10 minutes. I'm not great at math, but I can do that math. If you're gonna grab it though, why not use it? Because you got it, So and you don't know necessarily what's coming around the corner. So now, majority of the teams didn't use it, which, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all assuming that you can use it later on down the road. But I don't know if I were D'Angelo and Gary or Cheech and Hung, I don't know if I wouldn't, since I'm the first ones there, why not use it? Why not increase my chances of possibly finishing first?
Yeah, I think
before you, when did they, because I'm having trouble remembering, when was the yield option given to them, at what point in the, I can't remember right now.
Okay.
The setup of the episode, it wasn't given to them directly after they got the time thing, was it?
No,
it was further down the episode,
right before the circus.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then they had to say in camera, whether or not they were going to choose to use it.
You cannot see the pictures. You can't see the pictures of everybody.
Before the circus. Okay, and then they did the circus, and then they did the last part, which I don't want to. You'll get to the truck
before
thing.
The circus, after the tower. Before the circus, after the tower.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So with me, I mean, the yield, I guess in the past hasn't been like exciting TV. So I guess that's maybe why it went away. But this strategy, I guess, can make it kind of interesting and more strategic on when teams can use this. But, I don't know. I think, but to answer your question, Calbert, I think a lot of teams just didn't want to create any drama.
Right.
However,
sure. Yeah.
If you're Kelly or if you're Haley, the blondes, and I don't know if they knew Kelly and Levon were behind them.
Oh, they knew. They knew.
They should have used it. They probably should.
That was my dumb blonde comment. Yeah. I mean, they made a statement, so they knew that they were second to last, and Kelly and Levon were right behind them, because they both came super late to the towers or whatever, trying to get their next clue. And it was the two of them, and the blondes, was it the blondes pulled up or Kelly and Levon pulled up, and one of the other teams between the two of them was already running around looking for it. I can't remember who pulled up last. So they knew that it was between the two of them, and they were pretty far behind everyone else. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me that they wouldn't use it. I mean, why not put Kelly and Levon in a position where they would really be crippled? I don't understand not using it there.
Especially since they had such trouble with. I'm not trying to jump ahead. But especially since they were having such trouble with their cab, you throw on an extra 10 to 20 minutes to that.
Right.
There is statistically a very low chance that they could catch up at that point. So I don't know. That's why I said if I were a team that was trailing, I gave two bad examples of two teams that finished first and second. But if I'm one of those back teams, absolutely, yeah, I need as much distance between reaching the mat and finishing last. So I'm going to take every advantage I can.
Right. And if you're in their situation and you just need to survive, then you got to use it when you got to use it. I'm sure you don't want to I'm sure now, hindsight being 2020,
Sure.
they're happy now.
Sure.
But I think they did. If I recall correctly, they did make a comment, the Blondes, right afterward, that we probably should have used it.
Yeah, they did.
They did. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Then the teams had to sleep inside the cave, which I thought was kind of interesting. So if you watch the deleted scenes on YouTube, a lot of teams said they barely got any sleep because D'Angelo was a loud snorer. So a lot of teams were like going on 2 or 3 hours of sleep, if that.
Wow.
Yeah. But they I thought that was kind of interesting that they actually had to sleep in the cave.
Yeah.
And then from that point, they had to go to the tower. And this was kind of weird. They had to either find the golden raft or they had to find the emerald. But they basically, whatever one they did find, they had to go see that certain person. So I thought that one was kind of weird. But I guess that's how they got their next clue, which was then to go to the circus. And that's where we had our yield. But I believe it was Kelly and Levon's taxi driver that was struggling to find the square, the town square. That's when the taxi gave them fits, right? When the taxi driver's phone died.
Right. Although their taxi driver wasn't great at all to begin with, though, either. But you're right. Yeah, I mean that was eventually going to lead to the demise. But yeah, that going to the circus was the trouble spot.
And this is where like everything can come back to haunt you if you don't have a good first leg, because maybe they don't have that bad of a taxi driver. I don't know. I don't know what place they got to the salt mines. I can't remember, but maybe if they finish, more a little ahead for the next leg, they wouldn't have been. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe it kind of seemed like all the teams were jumbled though. Like there was an equalizer. Did it seem like that? Yeah. So I don't think that even mattered then.
Well,
I guess it just was bad luck.
Kind of goes back to our pick show of what team we're going to pick, and I said taxi drivers drive me nuts because, especially if I'm in a country that I don't know, that's your job, man or madam. You live here. You should know every nook and cranny of this place.
Yeah.
You know it a heck of a lot better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would drive me nuts if I were a team like that.
No, that's true.
I mean, so and that's the thing too. Like I'm giving you money to make sure that I can finish. So that I can try and finish first. Here, I will give you more money if you drive faster to get to where I need to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. The taxi drivers just in general make me mad, and that's why we have Uber now, right? Uber and Lyft. So
yeah, right. Yep, that is true. Goldberg.
Yo. Oh, sorry there.
I don't know.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, which part? What were we talking about?
I mentioned about
asking you
trusting the taxi driver and how taxi drivers drive me nuts.
Do you think there's anything Kelly and Levon could have done differently because they knew that their taxi driver's phone was dead? Do you think like at some point maybe it would have been better just to get out of the car and find a different taxi, or what do you think was their best strategy there? Or just
at that point I probably would have just wrote it out. With that, I feel like it would take so much more time if you're getting out of that taxi and then finding another one. But maybe I would have been so frustrated with that idiot cab driver that maybe I would have just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm out of this guy's car already. But to me, there wasn't. I felt like Kelly and Levon were going to lose the whole episode anyway. So I don't know. I didn't really give them just every obstacle that came up. They were just like. I felt like they were either going to be eliminated or they were just going to be that team that keeps sneaking by in second to last place, somehow keeps weaseling by. And I don't know. They just, something came up at every every obstacle for them. There was just whether the one of them couldn't read, whatever it was last episode. One of them, I don't know. One can't swim, one can't read, one can't walk. There's always a problem with them.
Right.
So I don't know. Getting out of the cab, maybe out of frustration, but I mean, at that point, they fell so far behind. Would it have really made a difference?
Well, and even that though, that's not even the reason they lost, and we'll get into that. But they
Right.
still had an opportunity to win. If you read your clue, if you're coming out, we'll get to that. But all right, so the circus, really not much to mention. I mean, most teams aced this on the first try. The only team that had problems here was Alana and Leo. And I mentioned last week that Alana was breaking down during the goat race part to end the episode. She kind of had a breakdown here. They're lucky to me because they're lucky they had some time to keep going up there and keep trying. So I don't know.
Because she dropped it twice.
Calbert, did you find this? Did you find this challenge? And did you find it hard, or did you think it was pretty basic?
It's pretty basic, but I mean, if a lot of people have a fear of heights, and we found that out too. Like some people don't with the team. Some people aren't great with heights. Alana would be one of them. She wasn't great with heights, so she caught a break that she dropped it. She dropped the bottle twice, and was able to survive. I thought her goose was cooked the second time she dropped it. I was like, that's going to be hard to come back from, but they found a way. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a balancing act, right? So you got the glasses and you got the tray, right? And then, I mean, credit to them for being able to focus and just look straight across, because that's tough. That's tough for some people. So.
Goldberg, your thoughts on that part?
Yeah, well, when I first saw what it was, I thought it was going to be hard. I thought multiple people were going to be falling or dropping the wine bottle. I thought it was going to be tough, but then once I saw everybody breezing through it, I realized, okay, I guess it's really not that difficult. And then I was actually surprised when Alana fell twice, because nobody else did. I mean, everybody else breezed through this thing. And I do want to touch on one team, because we kind of touted them a little last week and gave them credit for performing a little better than we thought they would. And they definitely came back down to earth this week. Jerry and Frank, because they may have an issue with, we talk about Alana. We're going to have a problem with her crying and breaking down. They're going to have an issue with the fact that I think, who's the younger one? Frank's
the younger one. Yep.
Frank's really doing everything right now, and Jerry's kind of just walking through this competition so far. They may have a problem, because Frank's going to have to do it all, and he may very well be capable of doing it all. But they kind of went back to where we originally thought they would be when we did our original predictions, and we kind of thought they'd be toward the end of the pack. And they kind of struggled in this episode.
Yeah, they were a little slow to move, I thought, throughout the episode. I actually had them, I believe, in my power rankings last week. I had them either 3 or 4. So, I'm probably going to be moving them down.
I like them personally. I actually like them. So I was kind of hoping at not to jump to the end, but I was trying to move your ass, Jerry. Come on, man.
Yeah. And then this challenge, it just pretty much everybody breezed past it except for Alana, but it didn't seem to hurt them that much. It hurt them a little bit, but not a ton. And
they were so far ahead of the teams behind them. So.
Right, so they could afford to make a few mistakes. So then we had to go to dress up the dump truck challenge, which this is where a lot of teams got confused. Even first and second place struggled on this because they didn't, Hung and Chi and D'Angelo and Gary kind of struggled, but they had such a big lead. I think the volleyballers, I don't know if they really struggled on this too much.
They didn't struggle at all.
Mm-hmm. No,
they caught the horn thing too. They didn't even get confused on the horn.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. And then Eswar and Apana did really good this week. I was happy to see that they do read their clue, and they were able to jump ahead a few spots this week. So that was good for my team. Michelle and Victoria, I don't know. I think because they had such a nice lead, they were able to kind of figure it out before a lot of other teams, but they were also didn't read it. And then Will and James having a little spat back and forth. Goldberg, I'll let you take this one.
No, we got to get it out of the way early in the second episode. If they're gonna fight, we got to get it over with now. But I don't get it. I don't get why you would be so frustrated for your partner just asking you to reread the clue. Like, why are you throwing a hissy fit over that? I mean, I get arguing, but you throw a little fit over, maybe I should reread the clue. No, that's the worst idea. Don't reread the clue. What? Just give it a shot, man. Like, he's like, no, we read it. We know what we have to do. Let's just look at all the and another thing I want to just ask both you guys, is it, I guess you couldn't really stand and look at the truck and tell your partner what to do. I guess that'd be against the rules.
Well, no, I think because it was a double team, they both could. It was just a route
I guess
info,
it's faster if they're both putting stuff on the truck, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess.
Both doing it.
Right.
Well, that's actually why some of the teams survived, is because Alana actually told them. I mean,
I was saving my reaction to that, Calbert.
Well, let's wait. We're getting to that. I just want to bring up one more thing with Will and James. They even had a little spat over who was going to do the circus. Who's going to do the circus roadblock?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's Will or James, but one of them. They picked the right one, obviously, but one of them does dancing. I mean, of course, the guy who's a dancer should be doing it, but I don't know. I think the other guy might have been a little afraid. I don't know which one it was, but I don't think he wanted to.
So, the hidden scenes, in the deleted scenes, it was basically, we'll just say Will is the blonde and James is the brunette.
Yeah.
James.
Will's the loud one, I guess, then.
Yeah. Will was saying that he wanted to give James a chance to do the roadblock since he did the first one. So he wanted James to do it. But James was saying that he thought Will would be better because he used to be a server and he's a dancer. And so they were happy with their decision on that, at least. So, I don't know. Yeah, just a lot of teams, at this challenge really struggled. And then let's get to it. We had Leo and Alana finally get it and then give the answer to the blondes because they like them. And apparently they had a relationship with them, which is kind of weird because we didn't see really any relationship. But they did explain it a little more in the deleted scenes that they know that the hurdlers are a strong team and they're physical and they wanted to get rid of them quickly. So that was their decision. However, on Twitter, it blew up, obviously.
Yeah.
You can only guess how it blew up. I don't want to get into that, but yeah. So do you think this was the right choice by Leo and Alana to do this?
No. Sorry. No. Sorry, Goldberg. Go ahead.
No. I want you go first. You were taking this. This is yours.
Because what ends up happening, right? We've all watched the show long enough to know that at some point the knife is going to come out and it's going to go straight into somebody's back. That's what's going to happen, and then we're going to see somebody. We're going to see a team yell at another team. Oh, I trusted you, blah, blah, blah. And no, that was bad. Now, it could be a strategic point for Leo and Alana in that, okay, well, the blondes are kind of towards the bottom. They're next. It's only the third week, and we're about to go to a place that we've never been. So I mean, no, it wasn't. I didn't think it was a good idea, but that's just me.
Well, there's also a team that's remembered what they did in Jerry and Frank. So, Jerry and Frank use that yield. I'm sure you can guess who it's probably going to be for. So,
right.
What least the Blondes probably won't use it on them because they literally admitted they would have never gotten the horns on the deleted scenes. So, yeah, they would have probably gotten eliminated. Well, who knows? I guess they don't. I don't really know who would have got it first at that point if they didn't help them. But yeah. So then everybody kind of got done with it there, and then Hung and Chi took first again, back-to-back first place finishes. And we had Gary and D'Angelo take second. Big turnaround for them.
D'Angelo wasn't happy with that.
No,
he wanted number one. Yeah.
No, but I will say he jumped at the circus. He jumped right on it. He's like, I'll do it. That's fine.
Right.
You know.
He's taking.
But you know what? I would have more respect for Alana and Leo had they done that for a competitive natured reason, like you said, of holding another team back to get rid of the hurdlers maybe, or Jerry and Frank. I mean, there's no reason to get rid of Jerry and Frank, but you want to get rid of the hurdlers? Okay, I get that. But they didn't do it for competitive nature. They did it to be nice. They just straight up, they did it to be nice. And when they did that, they became public enemy number one to me. They became my least. I hope they get eliminated this week team. I mean, it was just so. And I was hoping at least I didn't mind the hurdlers getting eliminated. They didn't do it, but tell Jerry and Frank too. They were sitting there struggling. I mean, you couldn't tip them off too about the horn. You're telling it's. I didn't like the way it went down. I wouldn't mind it for competitive reasons, but just to be nice. I'm with you. That may come back. That's going to come back to bite them in the ass. Well, and there are at the beginning of the episode, the top 5 teams all teamed up to help each other. So I get working together, but that wasn't working together. That was just, I don't know. That felt a little dirty to me.
Right.
It
was.
And if I'm a team struggling, like, okay, that would be like where I would look. Which Will and James did. What are they doing that we didn't do? And then, because everybody has the ability to hear, everybody goes, it's the horn. We probably have to plug that in. Like,
how did we leave that out?
It wasn't like a quiet horn, like it was a, kind of a louder horn. So like, your neighbor down the block could hear you. So,
Will and James, who was it? Will or James that yelled out the answer?
Yes.
And then Michelle and Victoria overheard. I think it was Michelle and Victoria.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's, we never would have figured that out. Good thing he has a big mouth. So stupid. What is wrong? They just, I don't know, man. I guess it's easy to say what you would do if you were on the show, but I mean, I wouldn't be that obnoxious and just say it out. Oh my God, it's the horn! While there's 5 other teams around me. Will and Jay, they got me worried. They did a lot of bad things this episode.
With good reason.
And then D'Angelo did that standing backflip. That was kind of cool.
Reminiscent of that soccer player. You think you're going to do a backflip? Watch this.
He one-upped him.
Reminiscence of Slammiversary 2018, I believe. He did the standing backflip. Yep. But then we had in third place we had the volleyballers. I thought they had a really good leg, even though they didn't take first. I still thought they were pretty even keel. Fourth, Eswar and Apana doing a lot better this week. Fifth, we had Michelle and Victoria. Sixth, we had Will and James. Seventh, we had Leo and Alana. They moved back a slot. 8, we had the Blondes. 9th, we had Jerry and Frank. And getting eliminated were the Hurdlers, who, if you listen to my power rankings last week, I put them all the way to the bottom. So I was able to at least correct myself from the beginning power rankings where I had them. So that doesn't surprise me. Like you said, there's only so many problems you can have. And it seemed like they had a problem on every single challenge. So I think the fact that they had that many problems, it's never a good thing.
Were you guys, when they got to the end, because I know there was a chance that that it could be a elimination leg. They kind of left the door open there. Were you guys hoping they said that they're not eliminated, or were you kind of hoping that they were eliminated?
I was fine with them being eliminated. I know I did say that towards the end of the show last week, where I said I think it's a possibility that no teams get eliminated, but I also had them towards at the bottom of the power ranking last week too, so it didn't surprise me.
Yeah, I didn't want to waste the non-elimination week on them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really care either way. I mean, I kind of like it when they have it towards the beginning, but usually after the first two teams, when we get down to like 9 or 8, that's when I like to have the first one. But I mean, there's been some seasons where they wait and all the way until like when there's 5 teams left. I mean, it really depends. So if they do it, this week, that's fine, whatever. But yeah,
Unless
I think
Alana and Leo is in last, then it's not fine.
right. Yeah, I know exactly.
But they've only been explained. Go ahead.
So before we do our power rankings, what were your guys? You guys both enjoyed the episode. I enjoyed this episode more than I enjoyed the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. What would you guys give it?
I'd give it an 8, just because of the suspense with the horn.
Yeah,
because we didn't know how long that was going to take or whatnot, and it was there was a point there where there were 4 or 5 teams standing there.
Yeah.
So that's 8 to 10 people. So the suspense was there. So
yeah, I'll give it. I mean, if we're comparing it to the first episode, I'm definitely giving it an 8, 8.5 even. I enjoyed the ups and downs of this episode when you're not sure if a team is safe or not. Because it's crazy how really all you got to do is struggle in one little leg or one little competition part, and you're done. You could be out. I mean, you don't find a horn and you're eliminated. So I enjoyed the episode overall.
Yeah, there was a lot of moving parts in this episode, which I think made for good TV, and there was a lot of different things they had to do. I think the place is kind of switched up a lot, so that's always good. And they went to a lot of different sites, so
we're starting to see though who's the cream of the crop, pretty much.
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
Yeah, we really are. So, all right, Calbert, you're gonna go first this week with your power rankings.
All right, so this isn't. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. It's not. My power rankings aren't going to be overly shocking, I don't think. 9, I have Jerry and Frank. If this is an elimination week this week, see you guys later. 8, I have the Blondes. 7, I have Eswar and Apana. 6, I have Leo and Alana. That's just because they were nice. 5, Michelle and Victoria. 4, I have Will and James. And I was also very concerned for Goldberg's team. 3, Riley and Madison, the volleyball players. 2, D'Angelo and Gary, because hey, you finish second, you jump up. And then 1, I have Cheech and Hung.
So, Cheech and Chong.
Cheech and Hung.
Cheech and Chong. Hung and Chi.
Sorry.
Hung and Chi.
Sorry, Hung and Chi.
All right. For my power rankings, I'm not going to let this week dictate a lot, but I'm going to keep the volleyballers at 1. I still like what I see from them. Even keel team, don't really get down too much. They don't really seem to have that many problems. And the fact that one of them can speak like 3 languages, that's definitely a plus.
Sure.
So, 2, I'm going to put Hung and Chi. I'd have to put them there. They're a very solid competitive team. I like what they've done so far in the race. I think they're a really solid team. Number 3, I'm going to go with Eswar and Apana. I like the fact that they read their clue. They were kind of quiet the week before, but I think they're going to be a team to reckon with. I think they're another even keel team. 4, I'm going to put Gary and D'Angelo at. I don't want to put them up too high because I remember what happened to the NBA team. Had a really bad first week, had a great second week, and then it just imploded from there. So I'm going to put them at 4. 5, I'm going to put Michelle and Victoria. I think they're a team that they're competitive and they're still hanging around pretty well, I should say. 6, I'm going to put Will and James there. They bicker a little too much for me, and I don't know. I think that bickering is going to get to him at some point. 7, I'm going to put Oh boy, 7th. I'm going to put Jerry and Frank. Last week I had him, I think, at 4 or 5. So I'm not going to put him down too far, but I'm putting Jerry and Frank at 7. They got to fall a little bit. 8. I'm putting Leo and Alana. That's just too many breakdowns for Alana. I think at some point it's going to get to him. And 9, I have the Blondes. I think they're the worst team that's left. I'm just not. I have not been impressed with them really at all. And they got lucky this week. So putting the Blondes at 9. Goldberg, your power rankings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go from the back down. 9th, I also have the Blondes being last this week. I think their confidence is a little shot. You know, they've been toward the end now for a couple weeks in a row. I think this may be the end for them, unless it's a non-elimination, which I wouldn't mind. I don't mind looking at them. But I think they're the worst team left. 8, I have Alana and Leo. I think Alana is going to be hell. Maybe Leo will be the reason. Maybe he'll start crying. I don't know. But I got them 8. 7th, I have Aparna and Eswar 7th. I don't know why. They're kind of just quiet and flying under the radar right now, doing what they got to do. But I don't know. They just wound up in 7th for me. 6th, I have Jerry and Frank. And also, if I didn't pick Will and James at this point, well, not that I think Jerry and Frank are going to win, but am I the only one kind of pulling for them? I don't something about them I like. I don't know what it is. 5th, I have Michelle and Victoria. 4th, I'm going to go Hung and Chi, only because I don't think they're going to finish first every single week. I just don't think the same team's going to keep coming first and second every week. So I'm going to drop them to 4th. 3rd, I have Gary and D'Angelo. 2nd, I have the volleyballers. And number 1, got to go with my boys, Will and James. I think this week they turn it around. They got the bickering out of the way. And they're going to show why Will or James applied for this show 9 times. This is the week. I don't know if it's Will or James, but one of them. Yeah.
And now we're going to a place we've never been before in Amazon history with Amazing Race history, and I just butchered that by going to the Amazon. There you go.
Is there a team though that either one of you would be pulling for, other than the team that you just predicted to win? Do you like a team like? I know you like Gary and D'Angelo, but other than them, is there any other team that's kind of drawing you guys to them? I don't know why I like Jerry and Frank. I can't figure it out.
I'm alright with Team Hung. I'm okay. That's all right with me. They're okay. They're smart. I mean, if my team couldn't win it, I'd be alright with them winning it. Yeah, I mean, I think that Leo and Alana are getting annoying to me. I agree with you though. I think Will and James have kind of figured it out. So I'd be alright with them. I guess the one team I probably wouldn't like, I know that wasn't the question, but I think the one team I wouldn't like if they were to win it would be Michelle and Victoria, just because they're my version of Will and James as far as the annoyance factor is going. It's starting to slowly increase every single week. Nothing against them. They're a really good team. I just something about them I can't quite put my finger on it quite yet. So.
I actually kind of like Michelle and Victoria. I think they got a little spunk to them. I think it's Michelle. Maybe it's Victoria. I'm not sure, but she's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, one of them. One of them's a character.
She is. And I've kind of taken a liking to that spunkiness. So I do want to see them be kept around for a while. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm kind of rooting for them. I'm the volleyballers. I don't really have a problem with. I think they're just a really good team. So yeah. I don't really. D'Angelo and Gary are good too. They have a very interesting relationship. If you watch the hidden scenes, there's a little more to them. But they actually, Gary and D'Angelo, they kind of argue, but it's more in a funny way when they argue. They argue about kind of silly stuff. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm rooting for them. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of teams I like, but yeah, Leo and Alana definitely they took a heel turn this week, and Leo's kind of weird. And the more you hear him too, like on the deleted scenes, he's a strange guy. So, and Alana has breakdowns almost every episode. So, I'm not really rooting for
You know
them.
what? They make a good couple.
Yeah, they do. They do. They do. And the blondes, as much as you like to look at them, they just don't do much for me. They're just kind of like
you're done with them. Yeah.
So, yeah,
listen, they're not they're not knockouts, but they're the best looking team on the show, I would say.
Only gets you so far. Right? I mean,
it got them. It got them a free answer about the horn this week.
That's true.
Exactly.
Leo knows what he's up to. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's trying to do. He knows what he's trying to accomplish. Right.
If it doesn't work out with Alana, you got to have something in your back pocket.
I will say though, credit to your team, Goldberg. Will and James are pretty entertaining as well. Those bickerings kind of make them. So I guess I would like to see them in it for a little bit longer, since those little fights they have, they're not even really fights, just the little hissy fits are kind of funny. So
And one more thing about Leo and Alana, though, I like having a team on the show that kind of like I'm rooting against, and I want them to finish last. And if Leo and Alana are eliminated this week, I don't really dislike any other team. So I kind of like keeping that one team around that I don't like. Kind of like how I hate LeBron James, but if he retires, I mean, who am I going to root against?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Oh yeah, the Amazon should be good. Did you notice though too, throughout 2 episodes, we have not had a detour yet. So I'm thinking on this next one we're going to get one, because I heard the double U-turn is going to be back. So Goldberg, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say the double U-turn's back. So what this means, Goldberg, is I don't know if you've seen the episodes or seasons when they had the detours, but basically you have 2 different challenges and you pick which one you want to go through. Well, if your name gets put on the U-turn board, you have to do both challenges. So, yeah, it can get a little rough.
How does a name get put on the board, though?
Basically, first one to the U-turn board box, they select a picture. And then when you get up to that board box, you see your picture, you have to do both challenges instead of one. So, yeah, it can get pretty intense.
Plus, you also see who put you up there.
Yes. Unless it's a blind U-turn, then you don't get to see it.
Right.
Yep.
But is this something you can you don't have to do it though, right? You can not put someone up there.
Yeah, you can choose not to do it. Right. Yep, just like the.
So far, all these teams have been pretty soft. So I want to see somebody turn against somebody. That's yet to happen.
Well, and you would think. I mean, you would think, especially going into a place that they've never been, that's a perfect spot to do it. Throw the detour, throw the U-turn in there. It would totally make sense.
I think Will and James are going to be the first team to turn on. So they may have that bitchiness is going to come out of them.
It's going to come. Well, it's not a death sentence either. We've seen a lot of teams just do, but they did the challenges like perfect. So it's definitely not a death sentence, but
True.
it'll definitely slow you down. So, all right. Well, episode 3 tonight. It's looking good. Any final comments before we take it on home?
This should be good since it's a new spot. I'm looking forward to that. And a place I've never been. So who knows what can happen? It should be fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's be a lot of. I think too. This is a little more like, I don't want to say third world, because we really haven't been into like a third world country yet. But this could get a little more third worldy, and a lot of those countries, it takes a toll on teams. It's just tough. It's a lot tougher. Right. So we will see. I think we'll see some more arguments between teams. So should be good. Goldberg, any final comments before we close it on out?
No. I think pretty much covered everything. I got to say, I'm rooting for Jerry and Frank now, other than Will and James. I mean, it comes down to it. I got to pull for Will and James because they were my pick, but I got a soft spot for Frank and his father. I don't know why, but I do.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. Episode 2 recap. We'll see you for episode 3. Have a good one.